Today, we're teaching a boomer what the blockchain is. Last week on the channel, Noah and I created our very first NFT. We took a file and minted it onto the Ethereum blockchain. But see, after making that NFT, I tried explaining to my dad what I had been doing all week and why I listed a cartoon for sale at $10,000. Unfortunately, he had a hard time understanding what exactly I did and what happens when something gets added to the blockchain. I think my dad might think that blockchain is just something you get with a Lego set. And that is just not right. So today, along with Alex's help, I'm setting out to teach my boomer dad what blockchain technology is.
Ooh, this is gonna be a rough one.
Yeah, I know. When I started researching to do this one, I realized that I didn't know as much as I thought I did about blockchain. I started consuming everything about blockchains that I could, and then I found this video explaining blockchain in 5 levels of difficulty. It's a cool concept, but it doesn't have a boomer in it.
Bro, that's just messed up, dude.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey. Okay, well, I was definitely not ready for that. Anyways, Dad, welcome to the show. Are you ready to learn about blockchain today?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. All right, so just go ahead and give me your basic understanding of what a blockchain is, if anything.
So this has nothing to do with engines on a car?
No.
Okay.
Nothing to do with engines on a car.
Okay, well, to refresh my memory, what is a blockchain?
Okay, so I'll start with explaining distributed ledger systems. Okay, so you know what a ledger is?
Yes.
It's like something used for recording transactions. So what if you could have a bunch of ledgers that everybody has access to and everybody could edit? That's like the first step of a blockchain, okay? All right, so the distributed ledger system is built on a bunch of different computers. So every ledger is just somebody's computer running this line of code, okay? And everybody with access to this ledger can add the blocks to it. On this distributed ledger, you have this thing called a block. And a block consists of 3 things: data, a hash code, and the hash of the previous block before it. So anytime somebody adds a new block to the blockchain, it generates a new hash code and it takes the hash code from the previous block before it. And so the hash code is just a random string of characters that tells you what's inside the block. It basically verifies what's inside the block and says, hey, this is what we've got in this block. And then it's got the previous hash code for the last block, and it says, hey, we can look back at the last block and tell you where this block came from.
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions so far? Like, do you have anything regarding like what I just told you about?
Well, I heard you. I can't say I understand, because one thing I don't know is I'm a visual learner. I have to see, or a touchy do. I'm a doer learner, you know.
Yeah.
Well, can I say, can you visually show me?
No, that's a good question. Okay, can you get some paper? Can you get some paper? If you need to see a visual, let's explain it like this, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's call this a block. This piece of paper is a block. This is called the Genesis block. So this is the very first block in the blockchain.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put some data in it, and data can be any form of data. It could be a text. So let's put text. Let's put Jeff. Let's put your name in there. Okay. So if I was in this blockchain with my computer and I wanted to add another block to this blockchain, first I need the hash code of this previous block. So this hash code is going to be a random string of characters, okay? So it could be something like 0x314 et cetera, okay?
Do I come up with the hash code?
No, the hash code is generated based on whatever data is inside. All right, so now when you add another block, okay, it's got whatever data in it. Say it's got my name, it's got Ben, and it's gonna generate its own hash code. So it might be like 0x432, but you need to be able to see where it came from on the blockchain, okay? You need to be able to see the previous block before it. So it's gonna drag the hash code from the last block, 0x314, and that's how you'll be able to tell where it came from, and so on and so forth. I could put new data in this one. What do you think would happen? Where would it pull the hash code from for this one?
From this one?
Exactly, it would pull this block's hash code onto the next one. That's why the blockchain can be more secure than other forms of transacting stuff. Okay, so say the blockchain was being used to record transactions. So somebody evil might want to come in and say they spend $100 on Bitcoin. Well, what if they want to go in and mess with the transaction so it says that they received $100 instead, right?
Right.
So the way the blockchain prevents this is consensus technology. So everybody's computer in the blockchain is running this code, right? And your hacker guy goes back and wants to change this block. But he can't do that because if he changes this block, then the hash code's gonna change, okay? So this hash code is gonna become something different. So what's gonna happen to this block?
It gets interrupted or?
Exactly, it gets messed up because you just changed the hash code to this block, so all of a sudden this one says, hey, what happened in the last one behind me, okay? Do you have any questions about that so far? Did the visual representation help out?
Yes,
a little
that
bit?
helped out. It did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that you could help me better understand my ball and chain.
Dude, in what context?
Well, I just need help understanding my ball and chain.
Okay, I think you need to see a therapist for that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my job.
Yeah. Well, if I can figure out the blockchain, then maybe I can figure out my ball and chain too.
Totally. Yeah. So those are like the blockchain basics. You feel like you learned anything? Any questions?
Well, does it cost anything or?
It depends. I don't think so. I think they're mostly free, open source. I think anybody can get access to them.
So how's it benefit a boomer like me?
A boomer like you? That's a good question. I think we're gonna figure out over the next couple of years to like realistic uses for it, whether it's banking or storing health records and stuff like that. So
very good. Very good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Dad.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Dad.
Blockchains are complicated, but we don't have to know every intricate detail about them for them to be actually useful to us. I kind of think about it like a debit card. You just swipe it through a card reader at the gas station, but you probably don't know how that system magically takes money out of your bank account and makes the gas pump start working. I think it's still good to have some idea of how these things work though, because being educated on something like blockchain will help you understand potential use cases in the future, and it'll also help you understand the pros and cons of using technology like this. That's why I'm glad you took the time to watch this video. I hope that through my dad's lesson, you were able to pick up a few things, and if there's still something you don't understand, no shame in that. Drop a comment down below, ask anything you want about blockchain, and we'll get to it. Thanks for tuning in today. Do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tune in as we learn about this new digital world. Alex, send us out.
We'll see you next week.